Hey bestie, so I'm back with another video. Today, y'all, this video is just off the dome, something that has really annoyed me. And from the top, we just go start, okay? So, first of all, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support. Keep supporting my older videos. Keep watching because I put so much research into these. Without further ado, let's get into the topic. So y'all, with all this J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar and Drake talk, I went back to go listen to one of J. Cole's songs, and it's really one of my favorite songs by him. It's really one of my favorite songs. J. Cole says on a feature, he says he's going to put your favorite rapper's neck in a noose, referring to like KKK and lynchings. And then it just made me think about the plethora of songs and videos and posts we have of people comparing black violence to the KKK, hating niggas, whacking niggas, and the plethora of violent music glorifying hate crimes made by distasteful racists. So it's really frustrating to see how we joke about slavery, how we joke about what our ancestors been through and make light of it by saying what we wouldn't have done, or, oh, I'm light so I wouldn't have been on the field. We talk about it like it's a game. And that's really why I started my page, because when I would see a post like that, I would cringe. When I would see people make edit photos with Martin Luther King with gold teeth, I would cringe. Okay, y'all are so childish. It's like a slap in the face for everything that our ancestors have done for us. And I've put in so much effort in learning about Black history. And then y'all come along with this nonsense to embarrass me and really make our people go back 40 steps, 40 years. So my goal is to combat that ignorance, that foolishness with the truth, with the stone cold truth. And you can't do nothing but accept it. In my videos, I always delve into slavery, but I don't go on a regular basis because I've talked about that before. We all know that. We all know about the beginning. We all know about 1492, the scramble of Africa, but we don't talk about the lasting effects, how the flawed medical system traces back to chattel slavery medical system where they were selling slaves to doctors, or how the police system traces back to the slave patrol. There are real life connections that people don't think of. So these posts that have been popping up on my social media more and more with figures and leaders being celebrated with gold chains, holding guns as a sign of savagery, it seemed as funny to say that the KKK was whacking niggas and that Martin Luther King was a rolling stone who was cheating on Coretta Scott King. Whereas it's some type of dark humor, some type of sad humor, and this gets reflected even in our TV shows. Like y'all remember on the Boondocks when Aaron Magruder wrote Martin Luther King to say the N-word.
So he did what all great leaders do. He told them the truth.
Will you ignorant niggas please shut the hell up?
And we had so many leaders, rightfully so, upset that he would write Martin Luther King in this distasteful manner because he hated that word. And thankfully, we now have access to so much information. But we all know what they say, that if you want to hide anything from a Black person, put it in a book. And of course, we can go into the school system and how we are, and the lack of resources and adequate assistance in, another video. Because I know firsthand what that's like. I know firsthand what it's like going to a school with less resources than the resources that's in the suburbs, whatever. But I also know that people say history is boring and it puts them to sleep. And then they go online and they say what they have heard in school with little to no proper education or information on that. Relying solely on someone else to read and interpret a book for you without internalizing its message can lead to manipulation. And we can see this go on in schools where people interpret the history books or interpret the wars for us, but we also see this in the church, because I live in Georgia and I go to Atlanta all the time, where there's literally a church where there's a bunch of homeless people that sleeps outside that church. And I I'm not Christian, I'm Hebrew Israelite, but I know something. I know a lot about the Bible, and I know that Lazarus and a rich man, they literally walked over that homeless man every day. And every day in Atlanta, in real life, they walk over homeless people to go serve a God. And it can't be the God of the Old Testament, because it clearly, we saw that message with Lazarus and a rich man, but they do the opposite of what they're even being taught every Sunday. So when you let people read a book to you, you're very subject to manipulation when you don't instead take that message into your being and become that message and learn for yourself, research. This shows how we lack taking ownership of our own understanding and discerning beliefs, and is crucial to avoid being easily influenced or manipulated. With the limited knowledge African Americans typically receive in school, the historical narrative often boils down to fighting against the UK becoming America. Somewhere in there, we got enslaved in 1619, and there's a profound misunderstanding about the complexities of war and how it led to enslavement. Many fail to grasp that slavery is not just a thing of a past, but it persists today, and it has affected various ethnic groups throughout history as a consequence of war. Insufficient comprehension of war fosters a deficiency in empathy when addressing our enslaved ancestors. It's vital to acknowledge them as victims of a harsh conquest, enduring physical, mental, and spiritual manipulation. When a group of people is defeated in war, there's often a tendency for the citizens of the losing nation to demonize the soldiers for not adequately protecting their people. This pattern unfolded with our ancestors, mirroring historical events such as the vilification of the Chinese soldiers in the rape of Nanking. So during the rape of Nanking, a lot of the Chinese natives were mad at the Chinese soldiers when the Japanese would come and kill all their people, which is very normal. I think a lot of this anger is coming towards our ancestors, towards our African ancestors, towards our ancestors for not being able to protect us, from a misconception that they didn't resist or fight back, which is far from the truth. They made significant progress once upon a time, but when faced with overwhelming force, their best option was to protect themselves and their communities from total annihilation. Think the bombing of Tulsa, which wasn't even 100 years ago, where Black families were targeted throughout America simply for thriving and posing a threat to poor whites. Unfortunately, our lack of historical knowledge leads to disrespect and misunderstandings of our ancestors' struggles. We fail to recognize them as soldiers who fought bravely against insurmountable odds, and instead, we see ourselves as passive victims, unaware of our own strength and resilience. Moreover, there's a pervasive belief that we should aspire to be like our oppressor, further complicating our understanding of our own identity and history. It's essential to reclaim our narratives, celebrate our resilience, and recognize our ancestors' strength in the face of adversity. We have a twisted post-traumatic slave syndrome, and everything they told us, they called us nappy, crusty, Black. We say it all to each other, and we internalize it. This is why we have a group of people that want to separate themselves from the negative stereotypes of Black people. And this is how you get, I'm not Black, I'm OJ. Okay. Some of us are just lost as people, but it's okay because I'm here to teach these things. So I made it my mission to educate people no matter the odds that were at hand. And I ask questions and I use my curiosity to propel me further and connect with many people. I'm interested in war, history, science, psychology. So it's things I understand about life that can only be understood when you deliberately take the time to teach yourself and become familiar with entire concepts. So that's all I have for this video, y'all, because the ignorance is killing me. I really wanted to come on here and rant. Thank you for tuning into another video. Make sure you tune into my other videos. Y'all watch my older videos. Again, I put a lot of research into it and I love it. And make sure that you guys leave a big like on this video. Leave a big like on my last video. And let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are annoyed by this too, if you see this, and if you just want to like cut off the internet. So if you have any video suggestions for me, let me know. I'm going to try to post weekly, but I can't promise. And if you guys want to reach me on any social media or talk to me about anything, my Instagram handle is Nayatashe. My TikTok is Nayatashe, and I text people back. I read my DMs. As long as it's something that is friendly, PG. Don't come my DMs on that freaky stuff. Thank you. But that's all I have for you. And again, thanks for tuning in. Mwah.